Welcome back to the Braaappp. We got Brian from Unibiker here. Uh,
Woo!
right on. So he does bike armor, skid plates, radiators. He has hand guards. You do a little bit of everything.
That's right.
Um, all makes, models, basically. American made, quality, steel, made from your own hands, basically.
My own hands, my own little brain.
Nice. So where are you out of?
We're in scenic Deacon, Indiana, which is about 70 miles north of Indianapolis. You go to the middle of nowhere and hang a right, and we're right there.
Oh, right there. So you sent me over a set of Radiator Guards as well as skid plate prior
Yes,
to
sir.
Big Sky, which was last weekend, and I ran them actually, and the guards themselves actually saved my radiator. And I was literally going up this hill, and I came off the bike, and when I came off the bike, there was a huge boulder, and the radiator slammed right onto him and shattered the plastic, but the metal was fine. And about these radiators, like, they go all the way around the radiator. It's not like just front protection or side.
Yeah.
It's all the way around.
Yeah.
And you have the steel rods that go across. I know on the KTMs I've seen that you have a cross member that goes from one radiator guard to the other radiator guard on the back side on the KTMs. Right. And I mean, a lot of people may not know this, but that stabilizes that whole unit together as one.
Absolutely. You know, you never know how you're going to crash, and you never know how the bike's going to land. So just protecting it from the front, or just the side, or just a brace, it really it leaves you vulnerable. So we take the philosophy that you need to protect the radiator from all directions. One of the ways you do that, you got to have that frontal guard to keep roost or sticks from stabbing through the radiator. Mm-hmm. You got to have side impact protection. You got to have a little bit of a mechanism to keep from tacoing the rad if it takes a shot right in the middle. And you need to have something that keeps it from folding backwards.
For some people, like your radiator would be fixed, on the bike. And basically you have a frontal guard so for debris. You got the side impact that also comes from the back side, but it like on mine, it's like a 45, but it comes from the frame itself, to the rods, so everything's actually secured around the radiator.
Yeah.
And it works really well, and it's really trick, and it's real simple to put together. Like, you guys have made it so, like, even a guy like me can put them together, you know what I mean? And it's trick. Plus they're blue, I got the blue anodized ones. I know you got gold. I mean, you got everything out there, color-wise, so.
We're kind of like, we consider ourselves, average dirt bikers here. We love the stuff that looks trick on our bikes. It's got to work right first and foremost. It's got to be easy to install. So we'll, in the design process, we'll take a lot of time thinking about how this thing's going to go together. How do you explain it to somebody with a thick head like mine, how to put it on? The whole thing comes together in a total package that it seems like a lot of guys, as they're finding out about us, they really like the product. So, and then on top of that, we got a lot of really, really fast guys that have been giving us great feedback over the years about what they want to see on it and what's working for them. When you have guys like Paul Wibley going out and crashing your product up and saying, "Hey, mate, think you could change this or that or the other," that just drives the product into a completely higher level than what it was to begin with.
Yeah, you basically have the best, off-road guys running your product, The feedback is great.
That's feedback from the fastest guys crashing hardest.
Exactly. So the skid plates, mine bolted on. The only thing that I was sketchy about was a steel skid plate. Like, I've been running plastic ones, and like, I've seen gouges in mine pretty hardcore, in my plastic one. So I ran the steel one, and the only thing I was worried about was vibration. Because, you normally get vibration, or you get a lot less flex in the frame, some people say. But with your skid plate, so it comes out, you know, like the frame rail, but the bracket itself for my particular Kawasaki, you put rubber coating over the bracket itself, so you don't actually have metal to metal contact.
Absolutely. You know, the skid plates are a whole new beast for us. We just started doing those. We did a bunch of prototypes last year and introduced the very first model, which was for the YZ250F, and had a lot of guys in the GNCC running that and giving us good feedback on it. When I designed it to begin with, you know, we're racing East Coast hare scrambles and enduros and stuff like that, so you got to deal with a lot of mud first and foremost. So all of our skid plates, I designed those so they fit real close to the frame, real close to the engine, so there's just not any opportunity for the mud to get in there and collect and add weight. You know, we're all spending thousands of dollars to get the lightest, fastest bikes we can.
Yeah.
And it you know, it's wasted money if it just collects a bunch of mud through a race and then you end up with 20 pounds of extra crap you just don't need. So we make it fit real snug first and foremost. And then when it fits real snug like that, that gives you some unique opportunities for attaching it to the bike too. Like that front clamp you're talking about, you know, we dip the ends of that in a plastic coating. It saves your frame. The biggest part, we don't want to scratch your bike up from any of our parts. So that saves that in there. That also does a little bit of vibration damping. And then that the rear attachment point, Kawasaki was kind enough to put a couple tapped holes down there in the bottom of the bike. So you can just screw that baby right up tight and snug, and then it doesn't move. So
yeah. So there was one thing you were talking about for the 2014 Yamaha was the heat shield for that were you thinking about doing that? I mean, were you trying to
I haven't done anything with it yet. We were on a tight time schedule, and we needed to take care of the radiator guards and the skid plate first and foremost. What I'd really like to do is to get that down to our scanning service and have that area laser scanned, and then I can take my time with it a little bit more. When we send the bike out to get scanned, that gives us 3D data that I can manipulate in my CAD software and basically, you know, try out a whole bunch of different ideas before we even have to make anything, and then that gives us a good idea of what's going to work. On that particular bike, man, that rear shock's surrounded on 3 sides by exhaust, so there's no way that's not going to be a problem, especially when you're operating in the off-road world, where you're going to be sweating that thing for 3-4 hours at a time. Shock fade will be a reality with that bike. There's just I don't see any way out of that. So we're thinking a heat shield around that shock, especially if we can incorporate some ductwork into that. Maybe get a cooling fan to make sure it gets a nice big fresh gulp of air going around there. I think might be a pretty good idea for us. We'll see what shakes out. It's the kind of thing that we'll use some of our contacts back in the IndyCar world with the carbon fiber type thing. Something like that would lend itself to that sort of production process, I think.
So that's cool. You guys are progressing. You're not just sitting around doing, you know, radiator braces, you know, as well as skid plates. So you guys are being proactive like that. That's cool.
Oh man, we got a laundry list of stuff as the business grows and allows us to get some people in doing the stuff that I do every day. That's in turn going to let me work more on the product development front. Man, there's just a ton of products out there that I'd love to be working on, not just with dirt bikes either. I could really see us getting into the adventure bike market a lot. Looks like there's some fun to be had with those type of things there. So we got big plans for the future of the business. That's for sure.
Nice, yeah. It'd be nice to see like those 690 adventure bikes or the KTMs or the 1190 adventure bikes. Like a nice skid plate for those guys.
Absolutely, I think we could move a lot of skid plates on that, and I think it's getting close to the right time with that. We've established the Unibiker name out here that people know it's high quality, tough, good stuff that looks good, and I think we could capitalize that on in a couple different marketplaces. I think so.
So if somebody wants to get a hold of you guys, how do they get a hold of you?
Hit us up on the web. We're at www.unibiker.com. Unibiker hotlines 574-626-3150. Follow us on Facebook, Unibiker Racing, Twitter, at Unibiker, email unibiker@unibiker.com. We try and make it as easy to find us as possible.
Exactly. So for the guys that, want to purchase a combo, we call it the up and down. We were talking about that, the up and down combo. If you want to purchase the Radiator Guards and skid plate, you just mention the Braaappp, you get 10% off. Just give them a call. And
absolutely.
They'll set you up. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it, Brian.
Hey, thanks for having me on. And, keep an eye on us. We're going to be doing some big things here in the very near future. So keep an eye tuned to unibiker.com, man.
Right on, bud. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Woo! All right. That's this episode of the Braaappp.
Sweet.
Braaappp.
Well,